Hello, everyone, and welcome to my weekly meltdowns coverage of Survivor 42, where we just lie all the time and just say things we don't mean just to get some money because that's what it's all about. I'm happy with tonight's episode. With me tonight is Andrew and Tyler, and Nate. Hello, has been with us in the past. Has been on a little hiatus because he has a lot. And that's okay.
Are you implying that none of us that are frequent on this show don't have lives?
No, we don't. The last time Nate was on this show, it was a Survivor episode, maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah,
it was the Moose Knuckles and McCrae episode. Where we all, me, you, Cliff, we all almost had heart attacks on the show.
And you know, Allison, it was so long ago, Nate couldn't grow facial hair. So now it's a nice change that we have.
It's been that long. We've all hit puberty.
Now it's at least visible, you know?
That's right. It's been a minute.
But I do have to say, when we talk about the episode tonight, I'm normally not a fan of people entering the game late, especially after the merge. But this new castaway mate, Lindsay, that they finally introduced tonight this season. Yeah, so I mean, she comes in episode 1 and she wins 2 challenges.
Yeah. Lindsay had a really great night tonight. If she had just gotten that immunity idol, like the hidden immunity idol, she would have had Chef's Kiss, perfect episode. Yep. Tony in Survivor 40, like episode 8, 9, or 10, whatever that episode was, that like everybody was like, yeah, Tony's the winner. Lindsay just had it all tonight, and she played it all so well. And I can't wait to break it all down. And Nate, I'm so happy that you're here because I've been wanting to have you on the show for a while because I feel like you and I we like really geek out over the strategy, and I love hearing your perspectives on all things Survivor and everything else. So I want to hear from you. Like, how are you feeling about modern Survivor overall? Like, give me like your general thoughts before we really get into it.
I'm usually on the side of I like minimal twists that are not super invasive. So like with this season and last season, I think they definitely improved with a lot of the feedback they got from season 41 and kind of took that and we're like, okay, how can we rework this so we don't piss off the people playing the game? And however, I still think they need to dial it back just a little bit. They just need something that's like, I think the idols are fine. I don't like the merge twist. I think knowledge is power is a fine advantage. I don't think it works in this particular setting, but I think in general it's a fine power. And then I guess we can like go case by case, but
it's definitely adding a lot more layers of strategy overall. Like we certainly saw like Drea and Lindsay tonight contemplate, like, you know, we have a little extra incentive to get rid of high here because I always forget what that advantage is called, but the one that like the three of them share from the premiere, the amulet, they have it has now been strengthened to a steal vote instead of an extra vote. So that is something to keep out for as well, with Drea just racking up all these advantages. Well, one of her advantages just got even stronger tonight, and we didn't really hear from her too much tonight about it, except for that one little conversation that she had with Lindsay. But I feel like this whole episode was like Lindsay. So like Andrew said, I'm excited that we're like finally getting to hear a little bit of her perspective and see her make some moves in the game and stuff. So yeah. Who are like some of your like early, like, well, not early, like who are some of your favorites? Like who are you rooting for here in Survivor 42?
So episode 1, my winner pick was Mike, just because he had a really positive edit in episode 1, and I felt like he was going to go the distance. He was very well spoken. A lot of people seemed to like him right off the bat. He wasn't in anyone's face. That has since dropped off. I think he's just had a series of very like poor episodes for him, especially these last 2. Since then, I've been keeping my eye on Marianne. However, I think Omer is probably my number 1 pick at the moment.
Yeah, I tweeted this out tonight because Omar, like, so what I said was, this is such a great example of knowing when is the right time to strike. Omar has been so patient, so like, so quiet, like just waiting for the right moment, not making any waves by not having power and a vote at the merge and stuff. And he waited until a very isolated opportunity at this reward that is full of like emotional bonding with these video messages, right? People are feeling vulnerable. Like it's certainly like subconsciously like a really powerful bonding mechanism. So to pounce on that moment and say, hey, Mike, listen, Hai says that he has you wrapped around your finger. How do you feel about that, Mike? And the whole thing unraveled because of that. Omar had an amazing, he's a fantastic player. I'm just going to say it now. Very impressed with Omar.
I think Omar has a really good read on how people will react to certain bits of information or like truths and lies. And he knows that if he's able to prey on Mike's emotions towards other players, that Mike will just completely just go all in on what to do for that. It won't matter who it is. He's just like a missile towards whoever wants to target somebody else.
Yes. Yeah. Allison, before I forget, let's say hi to everybody in the chat.
Oh, we got a lot of we got a lot of people in the chat tonight. We got Linda Maxwell,
Whoa.
Nate LaRocha. That's not you, is it?
No.
Nate, is that you? No, your last name is not LaRocha. Why would you be in the chat and be on the job? I'm a dingling. Bonita
He just has lots of thoughts on Omar's girlfriend.
Yeah, there's a lot of thoughts on Omar's girlfriend.
Hey, she was good looking.
I'm okay. But anyway, Bonita Tucker, Dolores as always, Green Tea. Listen, we're everywhere tonight. Okay, Adrian, Heather Jean. Hey, first of all, two things. I'm loving the lying and scheming that Omar did tonight. That makes me so happy. That's why I'm so happy with this episode, because it takes me back to when people played the game and weren't worried about all the other BS. Hello, Thomas Cook in the chat. I just loved it. I was like sitting there on my little exercise bike and I was like, yeah, just giggling to myself because I love that kind of crap. And Omar has a girlfriend.
Can we get a fact check? I received 2 texts from like separate people tonight being like, wait, Omar is straight. And I'm like, listen, I don't want to like speculate on people's sexuality.
I don't either, but I thought they're okay. Never mind. I
don't want to speculate on someone's sexuality, but
I thought there was a conversation about that, and maybe I was wrong. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, like, I guess the hashtag gays for Mike is just one less tribe member tonight after Hai has left. So, yeah,
I guess.
Andrew, what are you thinking? You haven't. I want to hear your thoughts.
On what?
Not on Omar's sexuality, but like just on like the way this episode like went in general.
You know, I thought it was a strong episode. From
Andrew.
I think it was a strong episode. I think it was a strong episode from a like character standpoint, like individual stories. But I mean, I felt like it overall was like a game movement storyline. It was kind of flat. Just from the aspect, I mean, it was a pretty clear-cut vote. I mean, Lindsay kind of sees this resurgence here. So, I mean, I feel, yes, Omar had some great moments. I thought Mike had a really good moment with Omar involved. I think Marianne's idol moment was a great moment. So I saw some individual storylines pushed a whole lot. But as far as like the story of the game and the progression of the game, I didn't see a whole lot of that. Now, based on the scenes from the next episode, that's going to kick into high gear and we're going to make up for that next week. But that was kind of my thoughts. It was a flat episode for me, but some good moments.
Yeah. What did I didn't see the trailer because I was setting up this complicated lighting behind me. What was going on in the trailer for next week?
It's the typical everybody says somebody else's name trailer. Where where you say it's this
and there's
person.
a twist.
Maybe it's this person. Oh, maybe it's this person. So it seems very heated. I mean, Jonathan's name gets mentioned. Drea's name gets mentioned. You see a lot of name dropping going on. So I feel like there's going to be some power played episode. Oh, and the twist for the sit out of the immunity challenge to be the instant first person in, first person out.
Yeah, like with Deshaun last season.
Oh no, that's
being
next week?
teased for next week.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm a grandmother now, so you have to refresh my memory on a lot of things.
You don't
What
have
was
to play
that?
in the if you don't have to play in the challenge. If you
Okay.
do play in the challenge and you're the first one to drop, you have to draw something to stay in the game. And if you don't draw it's a 50-50 shot, I think. But it's done
No,
after
it's
the votes are read, if I'm correct. It was almost
1
like
in
a hidden
3.
immunity idol kind of thing.
It's 1 in 3. It's that fuck, I forget
The
the
prisoner's
name of
dilemma,
it.
or like it's not. No,
yes.
it's
It's
Xander
not
said
Prisoner's
what it
Dilemma.
was last season. It's like,
Yeah, it's like a very I had like a whole Wikipedia page like pulled up for this last season.
Of course you did. Why wouldn't you?
It's the thing where like you're given like one of 3 doors.
Do or die.
Pick. Yes, yeah. It's that
Yep.
twist. Yeah. God, I would. Let's just speculate that for 1 second. I would hate if Drea plays in this immunity challenge, is the first one out, and then goes home over some bullshit like that when she has like so many advantages, has played like a hell of a game, and that is the danger of these, ladies and gentlemen. It's not good stuff.
yeah.
But the strategy the strategy with that is you don't play. If you have idols and you have things that can back you up, you don't take the risk of the challenge. You fall back on your power. So if I'm Drea, I don't care if it's something that I've won the world championship in. I'm not playing.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
that's a good point.
Marianne, for example, she doesn't need it either.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. What?
I was gonna say something I forgot. Shit. It's on the tip of my tongue. I want to say it, but I can't remember what it is. Damn it. Okay, go ahead. I'll just interrupt belligerently when it comes to me.
So of course we saw Hai go home tonight. And you know, I've been pretty thought down on all along, and I think that he got what he was coming to him tonight. Like we saw him so many times in confessionals being like here's the thing, guys. Like it's one thing to like have confidence in your own game and in your own self and everything like that, but it's another thing to like go into confessional and basically say like, guys, like I have it all figured out, and like look at like the mastermind that I am. Like I feel like we never hear like the true greats of like Big Brother and Survivor unless you're Dr. Will go in the diary room and say like, I'm the one that's like pulling the strings. I'm like the puppet master here.
He never
like,
gave himself a caveat.
Yeah, exactly. And it just like when you get into that mindset, you just start like kind of having blinders of like being able to see like any possible other scenario that could happen. And I understand that like Hai thought that it was an easy vote tonight because like Jonathan is safe or vulnerable this week. I mean, so it makes sense that like they would go after Jonathan, but like it's so terrible that like outplaying that much to the point where like you get voted out before somebody like Jonathan. You know, it's just so bad. Nate, what do you think about Hai?
I was joking around with a friend of mine where I played a game with him, and we joke that I was like Hai's Mike and he is Hai like in that scenario. The difference is that my friend actually won the game and I got second place. So I think that this like wasn't a necessarily bad move for Mike, but it was just one, it's not his move, it's Omer's. And two, it's like poorly timed. I don't think you should get rid of the person that trusts you the most before Final 7. Final 7 is notorious for being the big moves round where everyone wants to make the final push before they set up their end game. And it's like Mike doesn't have anyone he's known since day one left in the game. So I think that's really a really rough position. And I think at this point, I think Mike is a perfect like third place scapegoat for the rest of the season.
Totally. And I think that Mike has like the positioning and also like the social capital to make that happen here down the home stretch. I think that a lot of people in the game really respect him, not only as a player, but just as like a dad type of figure in like a good way though, right? Like I don't think that anybody really sees Mike as like a liar or like somebody that's like super manipulative. And he's really the one that made all of this happened tonight, right? So like as soon as Omar says like, listen, like Hai says that like you're working for him and like you'll do whatever he says, like that is such a red flag for somebody like Mike, who's very like I'm loyal, I'm like a loyal soldier for you no matter what. To hear that, even though it was a lie, of course, like that's going to ring some alarms for Mike. And he goes right to Jonathan, and Jonathan, who hears that like his name is being brought up, of course he goes with that plan. And then like once Jonathan's on board, like everything just starts like falling into place. But I was surprised how easily it seemed to happen, right? Like for somebody like Hai who claims that like he has like the whole game like figured out, right? It's crazy like how fast that house of cards like just comes like totally crumbling down.
He needed Mike more than Mike needed him for the end game, and I don't think he really realized that.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just gonna say, oh, I know what I was gonna say. Are we done with the island now? Like, are we not shipping people off to the island anymore? We done with that?
Last time.
Huh?
I think it ended at the merge last season too.
Okay. Well, hey, here's the thing. When they have these luxury or reward challenges and a group goes off together, like 3 or 4 of them like that, and you're full and you're lethargic off food and everything, and people are just opening up and they're bonding and, oh, I'm going to, let's be a final 3 of dead. It always happens. If you were Mike, because I'm sitting here thinking the whole time while Omar is giving him this information, I'm thinking to myself, is this legit? I mean, is he really saying this, or is he like, why would you just now tell me this? Like, if were they even that close, Mike and Omar, to the point where he didn't feel comfortable enough to tell him this without a belly full of pineapple pizza and beer?
I think it just goes to like Omar's strength as like a social player in this game, that like he has such great connections with like everybody individually, that like he's instead of like having a group and moving forward with that group, he's kind of like just kicking back and seeing how all the pieces fall, and then seeing how he can fit himself into that when the time is right. And tonight was absolutely the right time for that to happen. And I see a pretty clear path for Omar to kind of just go like Orange Tribe strong from here on out at this point to the end. Like that's really like how I see this playing out, is like Omar is going to get Jonathan and Lindsay and Marianne back together and say like, listen, like Drea's got a whole bunch of advantages. Let's take her out. We can string Mike along because he's not like going to be like a serious like strategic threat or anything like that. Plus it's like somebody in each of their back pockets if they want to turn on each other in the Orange Tribe. So I don't know. I really see it coming together.
I'm sorry. Matt says Omar has the mist.
Yeah,
he does. He has the mist. I agree. Omar said Matt had the mist, but I had to say it correct. Sorry.
A couple comments on what we've talked about so far. First off, going back to the Hai eviction. I loved the Hai talking about how he's got to keep everyone safe so they don't use the shot in the dark when everybody's keeping him safe, so he doesn't use the shot in the dark. I thought that was pretty genius. 2, with all this being said, I think Hai's exit was incredible. He was very gracious, very understanding of the game, very good with that. And 3, if I was on that reward challenge, I probably would have shit my pants, quit the game, and ran into the water when those voices started coming up.
Oh my God, for real!
Would have lost it, thought the island is haunted, and been immediately medevaced from the island.
Well, I have ghosts in my house. We all know this. I have 2, the man in the brown suit and Pearl. So I would have immediately thought that it was one of the 2 followed me, because they follow people, would attach itself to me. And I was like, do y'all hear that? Do y'all hear that?
I need the origin for the names of these ghosts, Allison. Can you just like tell a quick story for me?
Okay, so the man in the brown suit is actually a figure that has been following my husband around his entire life. And we think it is his grandfather that died when he was 6 months old. So, because he had a brown suit that he wore, back in the early 70s to church every Sunday. But he has never seen his face, but he recognizes the suit from pictures. So we call him the man in the brown suit. So that one is attached to Chris because it followed him here. I've kind of seen the silhouette, but not really. Pearl is this bitch that just has been around me. I don't know. She likes to come out in scary situations and I see silhouette. I mean, it's crazy, but she's not a mean like these aren't mean ghosts. These are okay. Dude, I'll sit on my couch sometimes when I'm alone at night watching TV when my husband travels. Sometimes I'll start talking to him. What are y'all up to tonight?
Does he ever
Mr.
talk
Brown
back?
suit and Pearl. No, but they show up in my living. You know, I've got the cams around the house, and you know they've shown up in some videos. The orbs, and you know, Phelan Fairchild found that one of the sitting on my couch when I rammed my leg into the
I
coffee
do remember
table.
that.
Yeah, and because I was trying not to wake up my grandson because goddamn he's teething, and I am over it. And I finally got him asleep, and I had walked right into this coffee table, and I was doing the silent scream into the couch thing, and all of a sudden the orb was shaking. The ghost was connected to me because I was in pain, and probably was over it as well and left the room.
So my real question is,
Yes.
you win final HOH, Pearl, man in the brown suit, who are you
Yeah.
taking?
Okay, so Pearl kind of comes and goes as she pleases, and the man in the brown suit is super loyal because I will see his ass upstairs. Just the silhouette, you know. So I would probably take the man in the brown suit.
Okay,
because
good
I think
question.
he's more loyal.
It's a fair question. I needed to know this, or I would have been able to sleep tonight.
But just for the record, I love you both. There's no need to knock anything off the wall or do anything creepy tonight. Please don't wake up the baby when he comes over.
Yeah. Spoo.
Okay. We got that
digress.
out.
But how do you feel about the like the voice of God like being these like messages from loved ones? Like, is it a little too like tech advanced for something like Survivor?
The whole
or are we
segment was
feeling it?
overkill.
It was a little
It was a
little
lot.
cringe.
So
Yeah.
what I liked though is that it wasn't advertised as that. They
Yes.
could choose what to do with the fact that these happened, right? They don't really come back and talk about it. You can choose to say that. So I like the fact of the loved ones being more of a pop-up, don't know when it's going to happen, not advertised event than this
Yes.
normal thing we come to expect.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I also think like this is probably like a Band-Aid for like a COVID issue, right? Like I don't think they got family visits at all last season.
No.
So
It's been a
I think
minute.
that they like after Survivor 41, they were probably like, man, like we're missing the loved ones visit. Like that's such a good moment. Like how do we get that in the age of COVID? So let's just like put some screens on some like crates that we got at Michael's like last week or something.
How does that even? Yeah, like how does this even work? Like, do they contact the families? They make all the families do this just in case they make it. We need you to make this. I'm so freaking proud of you. Blah blah blah. Video and send us some pictures. Do you know my family would laugh their ass off? They'd be like, "Are you serious? You really want us to make a video, Allison? We're so proud of you for making it this far. You know, oh my
Or you're
God.
Randy Bailey and you get nothing.
Right. They didn't even
Exactly.
they didn't even think it would happen. Or just be
God.
Finley sitting there staring.
Yeah.
That's it.
It would be my weekly meltdown. It would be us on the video screen. That's who you would see.
It would be us in StreamYard, and I would just be like posting like
How?
memes all the time.
But you'd never see it because Tyler would forget to go live.
That's
Exactly.
true. And I'd never see it because remember, I'm swimming back to the boat. Y'all don't remember? I'm doggy paddling back to the boat. The first time I see anything I don't like that could kill me or whatever, I'm Medivac or something. I'm getting in the water. It's pitch black outside. I don't have paddles. I don't have my water wings. Somebody better find me. Somebody better come on, Jeff. Come on, Jeff.
So yeah, that's I mean like that's how I feel is like it just kind of feels like a Band-Aid like over like a wound that is COVID that they're just like trying to figure out. So I wouldn't worry too much. I don't think that this type of loved ones visit is here to stay for forever or anything like that. They're trying something new. So like I won't dog them that much, even though it was weird. But I always really like when they do like night rewards or like night challenges. Like I always remember like in Survivor Cambodia, they did that reward where they would like listen to the story and then they had to like go like get the the right sentence and bring it back, and it was just like very like dramatic and cool with like the torches like lighting them up. I want more like night challenges like
Jeff
that.
roasting Joe in that challenge was one of the highlights for me.
Yes, exactly. But even just like how like shaky the camera work was when Omar was telling Mike about High, like it had a different vibe than I'm used to for Survivor, and it feels cool. Like it feels like tense in some way. I don't know.
It's like they're shooting. It's like they hired the people from The Office to come in with those steady cams.
Oh my god,
and
I
they're
hate
just
it
shooting it off.
in shows like that though. Like that is like that shit drives me nuts for like modern like comedy shows, because I'm a photographer, so like I'm like really noticing camera work all the time, and if it's like shaky all the time, like I just feel like I'm like watching like an earthquake happen. It just like drives me nuts.
They do that on Law and Order SVU and all the pretty much all the Law and Order shows, because I watch them all. They really hike that up in the mid, like into like 10 years ago. They really started that steady cam crap. It's like you got to take an anti-nausea pill. They do the thing on some shows where they flash that, well, this show has a lot of bright lights and it might trigger some people. I think you need to take some Dramamine before you watch this episode of Law and Order SVU, because you're gonna vomit.
Yeah.
My thing with those rewards though is if you give me a choice of a hot meal or a bed and a shower, I'm taking the bed and the shower.
Yeah, same. I need to be clean and I need sleep.
If you give me sleep or a steak dinner, I don't care how long it's been since I've eaten. I'm taking that pillow, I'm taking that situation, and the sleep to me is more important. So that's what I like about that reward. And I would love to see more where they kind of give choices, like more of a you could have either had the pizza or you could have had the shower and had the place to sleep. And I would love to see kind of the decisions that would be made in those situations. We give them too much sometimes.
Well, not only that, but like from what I hear, like every Survivor person after the season is done says that the pizza on Survivor is really terrible.
I don't want the runs out there. Okay,
so having like beer on top of that just like makes you like dehydrated and like disgusting. Like I would not want to drink any alcohol while I'm out there on the
alcohol or like heavy meat is like not good on Survivor.
We laugh about it, but some of the best rewards have been like the peanut butter jelly sandwiches. Like from a physical standpoint.
I would tear up PUB.
As to what gives you the protein and the carbs and the fuel. I mean, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you've got a little bit of jelly with some fruit in there. You've got the peanut butter with the protein and the sugar, and then you've got the bread. Like, we laugh at that so cheap, but honestly, that's what I would want.
But don't they look awesome? Their peanut butter and jelly sandwiches look so good.
I mean, people have been literally medevaced for eating too much before, so it's like
I just get a little backed up back there.
And specifically, it was Joe because he ate too much steak. So like your stomach literally cannot handle too much protein. You need to like eat the leaner stuff. So if they have like chicken or fish, you want that reward. That's one of the better rewards for you.
That's what I'm saying. I'll take the shower and the sleep, because I ain't getting the runs on that island, okay? It ain't happening.
So Nate, I want to hear some predictions from you, like how, like I kind of just said, like how I kind of see like the rest of the season playing out. What do you think is going to happen for the rest of the season? Where's this ship headed?
Honestly, I think that Omer is the most likely person to win currently. I think if you're like betting on anyone specifically, I think Omer's the safest choice. However, I think I would probably put my money on Marianne because I think she has that sneaky winner's edit, because she's been put into places where it's like That's interesting that they gave her that perspective on that specific event and not someone else. Like that's and specifically the one that I'm thinking about is when they were like not were deciding who was going to give up the chance at the immunity challenge, and they gave her perspective rather than someone else's when she started crying. And I'm like, if she's not winning the game, they wouldn't have given her that perspective on that specific moment. They would have given it to someone else or not at all. So I think that she's got a really, really good shot at the end. And I think a lot of people are really underestimating her, which is honestly, I'm for it because we rarely get someone like her archetype in a winning situation.
I love
Totally.
Marianne. I think she's great. I was kind of laughing to myself while I was watching this episode. Lindsay is this close to the hidden immunity. Nothing. Marianne's right
short.
there.
She didn't see it. She was
I
too
know.
short.
I swear to God, production threw a pebble at it when Marianne was right there and it ricocheted. Oh, look, there's the hidden immunity. I swear. I was like, they threw a freaking rock. I bet you they did. This is like that cowboy John, or is it what was it, John? Isn't that your favorite guy, Tyler? Where they basically had him on the the shelter and flipped him over. Oh, look, there's a hidden immunity idol. Okay, I'm just joking, but still, I was just laughing because I just thought.
What do you think about this? Green Tea says she's not going to win because of her age.
That is such a bad take.
I don't know about that green tea, but I love your name though.
We've had multiple people who have won the game that are under the age of 24, and specifically because of how good their social game is. And I think Marianne has that social game that a lot of those younger winners have had in the past. She has a lot of the trademark, like strategic sense that those winners have had, that have pushed them to the end and have given them the win over the people they're sitting next to. I mean, immediately, like Marianne is not this archetype at all, but Fabio comes to mind. People give Fabio so much crap for not being the strategic mastermind of the season. And like, obviously he wasn't, but everyone loved him on that season to the point he was probably going to win nearly unanimous. But there was some stuff that happened behind the scenes that I'm not going to go into that made it so he won by one vote. And it was like, don't discount someone because of their age, because that's absolutely a ridiculous thing. Age is not that important when it comes to Survivor. It really doesn't.
Who's the oldest person to win?
Bob.
Was it Richard Hatch?
No,
Bob Crowley in Survivor Gabon.
Yeah.
Okay.
My thought on that is, first off, speaking of things that give me the runs, thank you for the comment, Green Tea. And
Hey, I have a green tea right here with a silly straw.
Well, we know where you're going if you disappear all of a sudden.
Second off, I agree with Nate. I mean, age is not. To me, when we look at age and age discrimination, and as far as like from a vote standpoint, you're looking at the first 2 to 3 votes, right? Like once you get later in the game, the age becomes so much less important. And so if we were saying that Marianne is going to be a first boot or she's not going to make it the first 3 votes, then I take age into a factor. When we're looking at a winner's pick, age is very little for me.
Yeah, age really only matters if you're not a young guy. Like really, like like if you're an old man, or if you're a very young woman or a very old woman, that's when it's a really big detriment to your game. But other than that, it's as you said, Gibson, it's not much. It's not a big deal after the first 3 rounds.
I will say, I think that Marianne's age is actually something.
How old is she?
She is 24. I have the ages up right here. This is actually like a relatively like quote unquote older cast that we have left in the game, right? Like we have Lindsay, who's 31, Romeo's 37, Mike is 58, Drea's 35, Jonathan's 29. That's the closest to Marianne. And Omar is 31. So, and like Marianne feels a lot younger than 24 too. Like I would guess she's like 20. It's like how her like energy is to me.
I would have said 20
So like it would be even more impressive to me if she's able to get to the end, like compared to all these like old geezers, you know what I mean? And pull out the
What's
win.
an old geezer, Tyler? Because I'm 45 and I'm not done with you.
Listen, I always say it's in the context of the casting of the season. I'm not
Mhm.
calling you old, Allison. You look younger than me.
I was surprised when you said Drea was 35. I thought she was in her mid-20s. She looks very young.
She
So,
looks
yeah.
really good. She's like a fitness trainer too, or something,
Her
right?
body is insane. Like she is so
Oh,
in shape.
yeah.
It's crazy.
It's
Mhm.
insane. If I had to guess where that's coming from, Green Tea, and I'm speaking to you directly right now. If I had to guess where that's coming from, that's coming probably from the Xander Final 3 last year, like the fact that he
Mm.
didn't get a vote being so young. But to
Yeah.
compare Xander and Marianne as the same player with the same situation is
Yeah.
such a far stretch.
Yeah.
Like, I get that. I do think Xander was labeled immature, and I think that hurt him kind of in a
Yeah.
Final 3 with his social game. But when you look at Marianne's tribal last week alone, that puts her on a higher maturity level that I think stands in a final tribal council much more than Xander had to back
Mhm.
up on. And he said, yeah. So, I mean, that was the comparison there, was the Xander comparison. And I just don't think that there's anywhere close to a fair comparison there.
And he was also like labeled as naive very, very quickly by Tiffany, and that's spread very quickly because he just came off that way. Whereas Marianne, like, sometimes can come off as like childish a little bit, especially with their interactions with Jonathan. But like, you can be 50 something and act childish towards someone that's half your age.
Oh,
And
yes, you can.
yes, and then be able to. But I think the maturity level outside of those interactions has shown with Marianne, as you say, Gibson. So.
Plus,
So I
she got
understand
another.
where you're coming from Green Tea, but I don't think the comparison's there.
Yes, and as always, thank you for the comments. We also have to say, like, she got another hidden immunity idol tonight. Like, that is definitely something to keep in mind, like, for her winner's potential, headed down the turnpike here. So we'll see what she does with it. But yeah, I guess like we kind of like went off on a tangent, but like Nate, like, how do you see like the rest of the season going?
Yeah, I think it's hard to say. I think the next twist is going to throw things, make things really weird. Honestly, I think the only person that I really want to see in that do or die is Romeo. Like, he's not doing anything, and he's just kind of there. I don't think he can win the game from any position that he can get to a power position. No one's going to let him. He can't really direct anything. No one's going to let him. So I think, honestly, Romeo, if I'm willing to risk anyone, it's Romeo. But for the rest of the game, it's just hard to predict. I think Marianne is going to slip through. I think that no one's going to let Jonathan get to Final Four because they know that he's going to win it. I think that would be the mistake of the season to let Jonathan get Final Four. I think if I had a prediction, I think Jonathan's going to get 5th. And I think Omer is going to get 4th. I think they're like Omer just.
You think Omar loses fire making?
Yes, I think Omer, like, his edit.
See that?
Totally.
It's just lacking. It's just lacking that little extra like glimmer. We haven't really gotten any like winner quotes from him. Like,
yeah.
So
yes, I know what you mean. We're like Marianne, we have like a shit ton of like winners quotes. I know exactly what you mean by that.
Yeah, Mike, we do as well. I think Mike's gonna get 2nd or 3rd. I think Mike's a shoe-in for the end.
And Mike could probably beat Omar in fire making, like if that's what it comes down to. Like,
I could probably beat Omar in fire.
He's a firefighter, right?
Yes, yeah.
Mike,
yeah, I mean,
I think Final 3 is going to be Marianne, Lindsay, and Mike. I think that's a safe Final 3, honestly.
I could see it.
Marianne,
I think Marianne wins that Final 3.
I think so too.
Hey, Andrew, pull up your pants next time you get up. I'm not living for the plumber's crap. Okay.
I did not see that, but
oh, I see everything. Andrew loves me. You love me, Andrew.
Love you.
All right, let's update the draft here. So here's our patron draft. So Adrian lost his 3rd person. So he is down to #gaze for Mike. Yeah, Nate, who do you think has the best remaining team here?
Matt, I think it's going to average out. I think at least 2 of his people are going to get to the finale. I think Rory's got a decent shot, specifically because Marianne is in there. I think Lass probably screwed. I don't think anyone's letting Drea to the end, unfortunately. I think she's just way too big of a threat to even let close.
I know, and that's such a bummer. Like, I would love to see Drea just play like a Kim Spradlin like baller game, like from the front, like just totally just ruling it like the entire time. But like,
Hey, did we do a draft?
Yes, I'm gonna update that one next.
Oh.
We
did a draft.
Sorry, that sounded a lot more passive aggressive than a minute.
No, it's fine. Whatever.
So I have lost my fifth person tonight. So you know, but it's quality over quantity here at my weekly meltdown. So hoping Marianne wins. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Nate, what are you thinking about these teams?
I think Allison's gonna win the draft.
I don't even put effort into it anymore, Nate, to be honest with you. And I win every year. I'm about to win Big Brother Canada. Okay. It's gonna happen.
I don't know about that. Nate, do you watch BB Can?
I've been keeping up with it. I haven't been able to get into this season. I don't know. I just wasn't able to connect with this cast. I think the last cast that I really paid attention to was season 6. So
don't tell that to Tyler. Do not tell him that you did not get into BB Can 9. Do not say those words.
Nate, it's better than BB 10. Like, it is
I'm
that
trying to
good.
remember what happened. Oh yeah. No, I didn't watch BB Can 9, but I was very I was paying attention to it a lot more than this season because I was actively rooting for Tyshawn the entire season. Yeah. He was my winner.
I do have a quick BB Can 10 update because we have some breaking news here.
Here we go. We can't do a show, Nathaniel, without him bringing up the Big Brother. But it was my fault. I brought it.
But this is really interesting. So Betty evicted Helena over Kevin tonight.
What?
No.
Hold on. What?
No, she didn't.
Who won the veto?
Josh won the veto. So he took Betty off the block to put Helena up. So Betty had to choose between Kevin and Helena.
That's a great move for Betty, though. That's insane because she knows
I don't know.
Josh and Kevin are going to take each other out. She's guaranteed the end now.
But I think that Kevin wins over Betty. It's risky.
So, she's guaranteed second place money. Who cares?
I'm very surprised. So I just had to give that update once. I read it a few minutes ago. I checked 3 different sources because I literally could not believe it. But
that's crazy. She's probably not going to win, but she's guaranteed at least second place. She has an argument now. I think
I'm now happy with whoever wins. Is what I'll say.
I just want to say I go to Jokers to try to figure out what y'all are talking about, and the main headline is Big Brother was beaten by Jeopardy and basketball.
It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me.
My girlfriend's actually watching through binging BB Can now, so she's on season 2. She's now on season 2. And I think Arlie just shaved his head into a mohawk. I think that's where she is in the season.
I see.
Yeah, so
I am not a big Arlie person. A lot of people.
Me neither. I like season 2 a lot, just mainly because I like Netta and John a lot in that season. And then I think I love season 3 just because the cast was really great that season, and then season 5 and 6 was the high point for me for BB Can.
Yeah. Definitely.
Funny thought is I'm still looking at these ratings. The number 1 program in Canada is Survivor.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, they have a little more stake in the game now that Canadians are able to compete. I think Marianne is the only Canadian left.
Drea is technically a Canadian citizen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Cool. Well, I think that unless we have anything else to talk about, I think that wraps it up for us. Pretty straightforward episode, to be honest. Nothing too crazy happened. Hai got what was coming to him.
Yeah,
I will say. It felt good for that to happen.
I'm always disappointed when I don't get a Jonathan episode with the shirt off for at least 20 minutes. And he's carrying everybody. I need him to carry everyone on his back like Yoda, and let's just do this. Okay, I'm disappointed.
Also, one thing. Sorry, one thing on Hai that I noticed. I noticed with every increasing episode, which is where I was at first I thought Hai was going to go much farther than he did end up going. But with every episode, he just seemed like he was getting more mad. at everyone as it went on. And I'm like, that's not a good thought process to have.
He has like a really bad like stank face. Like when like things aren't
Oh,
going
yeah.
his way, I feel like his frown is like really droopy. It's I don't know. But
I guess playing with Mike aged him a little bit.
Probably.
I just thought it was funny when he was sitting with Jonathan and he was explaining to him how the vote was going to go.
That was so awkward.
I'm going to tell the target how the target should feel and be safe. And I was like,
if he felt the need to do something like that, that means he's in a very precarious position, and that should have been his first note of like, hey, maybe I am in trouble if I feel like I can overextend like this.
I don't know if I'm super curious, is I really think that Hai was thought he was the best player to ever play this game.
It's like Ricard last season, to be honest. Like that's like the energy that it feels like here. And like there's a huge so Hai thinks that he's the Omar of the season. Like he thinks that he's done a phenomenal job connecting with everybody on an individual level, even Jonathan, to the point that he can go up to Jonathan and say, listen, here's the target tonight. I'm going to lie straight to your face and you're going to believe me. And I'm going to say in confessional, look at me. I'm such an evil mastermind. Where literally the next confessional we get is from Jonathan being like, I know that he's lying to me. He's lying straight to my face. And that's the difference between you don't see Omar going in confessional being like, I have the whole game figured out, you guys. And I'm the mastermind. I'm the puppet master. Omar is very much so I'm playing this very carefully. I have to know when's the right time. And I think you need that humility in order to be a good Survivor player. And that's the big difference between people that think they're the greats and people that are the actual greats.
Omar was playing in the moment, whereas Hai was playing 5 rounds ahead. And that was his downfall.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think that wraps it up for us. Nate, are you watching the Real World New Orleans Homecoming?
I am not. I don't really watch Real World. It's just not my thing.
Understandable.
Do you watch the challenge?
I do, and I'm excited for All Stars. I am very excited. Wes is one of my favorites, so I'm very excited to see him.
Maybe we should do a little cast analysis.
You're coming back for that, by the way.
I like Wes when CT hits him with a shoe, and that's about it.
Here's the thing. I love Wes for the comedic element that he brings. I love how smarmy he is. I don't think he's as good at the game as he thinks he is. But I just think he's fun to watch. That's the whole reason why he's
especially when CT's hitting him with a shoe.
Yes.
Best.
Whenever I want people to watch the challenge, I show them that clip and I'm like, this is why you should watch the show. It's really great.
These people on the challenge, they think they're so much better than what they really are. And I'm not talking about the All-Star, but these younger people, they get on there and it's a frat house, dumpster fire. It's just hilarious to me. I'm just like, you guys are not that great. It's I don't know, because I'm a real world historian, Nate, and I watched it evolve from Road Rules to Road Rules versus the Real World chat, and then it became the chat, and now it's just they're pulling people from Are You the One, Panama, and also just shows I've never even heard of or seen, Jerky Shore or whatever, Jerky Shore from I don't know where.
I think All Stars, I'm loving All Stars right now just because I think they kind of reclaimed what the challenge really is.
Yes.
And I think they were able to shorten the season where it's consumable and still give a good product at the same time. Whereas regular challenge is just it's half the year. Come on.
Nate, I'll tell you what the problem with modern the challenge is. The problem is casting. And it's such a night and day difference between All Stars, which is the people that we love, but it's not they are not unreplaceable. You know what I mean? They can cast people like that now, but they're so stuck in this the challenge is the next extreme sport in America, like CrossFit games. It's just,
these people would not make it on American Ninja.
Yeah. By the way, fun fact.
Except the ones that actually were on American Ninja that played the challenge.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Ninja.
Yeah. What are you gonna say, Nate?
Fun fact real quick. So Jonathan, I found out, and John A from the challenge actually
From
have a
Endurance.
connection. Yeah, they
Yeah.
were both on. Yeah, they were both on Endurance, and
Are they on the
Johnny
same
won.
season?
No, Johnny was on the first season. She won, and Jonathan was on the last season. He got third place.
That's right.
Yeah, and Jonathan got cut. He was like, his team was the surprise elimination at Final 3. I think everyone watching this season thought he was going to win with his partner, and they just completely just fell on their faces at the Final 3. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
Whereas Johnny dominated her season. She was in charge the entire season.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well,
Gotta
I
finish strong.
love the All-Star makes me happy because the people are older like me, and it's an hour. Not even that, it's like 48 minutes. And, I can deal with that. It holds my attention long enough. And then they're doing like the doggy paddle Olympics for challenges. And I'm like, yes, I can do.
It feels like real people doing it.
It's
This
like
is what it would be like if real everyday people did the challenge.
Yes, this is the real shit right here.
That's what we want. Give the people what we want. All right. Well, Nate, where can we find you on social media?
On Twitter, you can find me arguing with random people online about my hobbies at Hatzmania, HATZ Mania on Twitter. Same thing basically everywhere else. So, yeah, mostly on Twitter though.
Cool. Perfect. All right. Well, we're gonna head on out, but we will be back. I think we're not doing the BB Can 10 finale live tomorrow night because it's a 2-hour show. Like,
yeah,
we're a little tired by that point. So we'll have it up on Friday at some point. Not sure when, but we'll keep on the lookout for that. And then Monday we'll be back to talk about episode 3 of the Real World New Orleans Homecoming. Very excited to talk about all that stuff.
I'm not ready.
Next week.
I am not ready.
Well,
I gotta watch it again.
Yet, so I
gotta watch it again. I gotta watch it at least 3 times to just get it out of my system.
True. All right. Well, yeah. So you guys know what's coming up. All right. Everybody have a good rest of your night. Take care, and we'll see you later. Bye.
See you later.